Good morning once again. Sorry, I have been muted. Today's session on beginning reading in distance education is being attended by the Curriculum and Instruction Division Chiefs, Education Program Supervisors, Public Schools Division Supervisors, and school heads from the 13 schools divisions of the region. Assuming that each one can attend, the sheer number of our participants for this session will reach at least 4,171 education leaders, or school heads to be exact. This staggering number is the reason why we're also live streaming this virtual session on Facebook to reach the vast majority of our participants via an accessible platform that can be delivered on the same content and the same message. And speaking about a timely and empowering message is something that you and I always want to hear when facing a difficult situation or embarking on a challenging endeavor. It is in this perspective that no less than our very own Regional Director, Dr. Ramir B. Oitico, wishes to share some of the exciting things that the regional office is getting ready to implement in support of the learning continuity plan of our learners. However, as RD is also focusing on a major activity in the division of Calbayog City, we have with us the Chief of the Curriculum and Learning Management Division to give the good news and updates on what DepEd has been doing in response to the challenges brought about by COVID-19. To our strong partners in the field, please join me in welcoming and greeting Dr. Rosemary Gino, Chief of the Curriculum and Learning Management Division, DepEd Regional Office 8.
A pleasant morning to everyone, especially to our highly competent speaker who will be introduced a little later. Highly respected Regional Director Ramir B. Oitico, equally respected ARD Arnolfo M. Baleni, the chiefs of the different regional functional divisions, the Curriculum Implementation Division Chiefs, Regional and Division Education Program Supervisors, PSDSS, school heads, ladies and gentlemen, once again, good morning. For and on behalf
random number 321 series of 2020, in which all the teachers are required to come up with the simplified MELCS-based weekly budget of lessons and learners' activity sheets and worksheets. They are not anymore required to make the modules, except, of course, those who were commissioned or tapped by the regional office and the division offices. In addition to this, our education program supervisors at the division and the district supervisors are likewise requested or mandated to come up with their supplementary learning materials. Like, for instance, if the lesson reflected in the simplified budget of lesson is on noting details, of course, the supervisors will give stories or other learning support materials that would help in the delivery of these competences as reflected in the simplified MELCS-based weekly budget of lesson. And then we are also requesting all the division offices to submit only a sample of this simplified MELCS-based budget of lesson based on the assignment that is given to you in our regional memorandum that will be disseminated a little later today. Okay, so we are not asking all the sample budget of lessons and the activity sheets to the RO. It is for the consumption also at the school level. So it is the prime duty of the school heads to check whether all the teachers have a complete set of this simplified MELCS-based weekly budget of lessons coupled with the activity sheets, worksheets, textbooks, and other available learning resources that are anchored to the competences for that particular week. Okay? So since time is so precious, I'll not make this long. Our RD would like to extend his warmest greetings and congratulations to everyone, especially to our highly competent speaker who will be introduced a little later. That would be all. Thank you so much. And please listen attentively. And please be here from the start until the end of this webinar. With this, I thank all of you. Thank you so much. Mabuhay.
Thank you, Ma'am Rose, for sharing with us your thoughts and plans. This will send a clear message to everyone that in DepEd Region 8, quality education never ceases to thrive because people never cease to try. At this juncture, please allow me to introduce to you another champion of education who has responded to the call to share her expertise on teaching beginning reading through distance education. Our resource speaker earned her Bachelor of Arts, major in guidance and counseling, cum laude, at the University of San Jose, Bacolod. Master of Arts in Education, major in early childhood education at the Cebu Normal University, and Doctor in Development Education, major in early childhood education at the Cebu Technological University. She is presently a full-time Associate Professor 3 in the College of Teacher Education at the Cebu Normal University. She is an educator who has been in the field for almost 30 years now. For the most part of her career, she has been involved in early childhood education, considering her rich experience as a preschool teacher for 17 years, and her background as an administrative assistant for the preschool department for another 8 years. Our speaker's resume is not limited to the confines of the classroom. She also wrote and reviewed books. Among her notable achievements in this field are the publication of the Sinubuanong Binisaya for kindergarten, volumes 1 to 4 under Lorimar Publishing. She also developed instructional materials and modules in teaching of literacy and numeracy for early childhood education. She also conducted researches and presented them in national and international conferences. In addition, she published researches in international journals, which include the listening and reading comprehension proficiency of public school teachers in Cebu in the International Journal of Current Research, Mother Tongue-based instruction, policy to practice in the International Journal of Education in Research, and reading engagement, opportunities of education students in the European Journal of Educational Sciences. She's been invited as a resource speaker for a wide array of topics like parenting education, creative arts, storytelling, behavioral and classroom management, curriculum development, instructional materials production, and many others. She is also a guest trainer, lecturer in early childhood care and development in Devon Cebu province and Cebu City. Aside from these sterling accomplishments, she is also very active in the community service and has been designated as the college extension chairperson since 2010. A recipient of numerous national and international trainings, our speaker for beginning reading and distance learning is ever ready to help and assist us learn more about the subject matter in a fun and engaging way. With this, ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming our first resource speaker, Dr. Tizza Marie Minoria Navarro. Good morning, ma'am. Sir, unmute.
Yes. Sir, am I loud and clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so
Can hear you.
much. Because it's raining here in Cebu City. I do
Okay.
not know in your place. Is it cloudy, sunny,
It's
or rainy?
also raining at the moment.
It's also raining here. Okay. To our regional director, Dr. Ramir B. Ortico, Chiefs of Curriculum Learning Management Division and CID, Regional and Division Education, Program Supervisors, Public School District Supervisors, School Heads, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all. Maupay, maupay na aga kaninyong tanan.
Aga.
So thank you for inviting me to be one of the resource persons of the series of virtual professional learning and development sessions you have organized. And I am very lucky enough that ako ang nauna. I am the first to talk about my topic. So in this morning session, I will be sharing with you one of the most important skills that we need to hone, the teachers need to hone, and on how to teach beginning reading, especially in this time of pandemic. Mahirap talaga ngayon kasi we are not in the classroom. We don't have face to face with our students, and our learners are just at home together with their parents. Before I will serve the main dish, which is the main topic, let's have our appetizer first. So let's have a game. My dear participants, are we ready for the game? We will have this, what we call fast talk. Are you familiar with fast talk? Are you familiar with fast talk? Thumbs up. Okay, good.
Sir Joy.
Mag-boy abunda ako ngayon. Okay? You just answer. Choose only one. Day or night? Monday or Friday?
Oh, di rin, ongoing pa.
Mountain resort or beach resort? Lights on, lights off. Online or face-to-face? Zoom or Messenger? Sing or
Ginihin mo pa.
dance?
Ginihin mo pa.
Module or Google Classroom? Well, you need to choose Tacloban City or my place, Cebu City. Multiple choice or essay?
Actually, it is still ongoing activity.
ABS-CBN or GMA? And the last, COVID or COVID. So I think naka-choose na kayo which is the best for you. Okay. So before I will go to the main dish again, so after serving the appetizer, I will serve the soup. So I will be asking you, we'll have the check-in question. No? So I have here for a while. I'm still okay. I have here check-in question. And I want you to answer it in the chat box. And Sir Rick, Sir Dean, will be the one to like at least read 3 to 4 answers. Sir Dean, is it all right? Since you are the moderator?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
All right.
first question. Check-in question. What's one new and interesting, wait for a while, huh? What's one new an interesting thing you've been doing lately? Okay, kindly write your answer on the chat box. Okay, Sir Dean, do we have the answer now?
At the moment, we're still waiting for our participants to type
Ah,
in their answers. Come on.
what's one new? Yes, sir. What's one new and interesting thing you've been doing lately? So I only need 3 answers, Sir Dean.
All right. So we're requesting our participants. You can use our chat box here.
Yes,
There
please.
you go. All right. The first one here is from Mom Dr. Alexandra Lagumbay from Tepedaro.
Wow.
It's gardening. And from Sir Ramil Binko, we have writing modules.
Wow.
All right. And then we have one from Marlene Armonia from Southern Lady Division. Review yesterday's topics.
Yesterday's
All right.
topic. Thank you so much, sir. I think
Finally, writing
what?
on.
Yeah, that's all. Thank you so much for those who answered my question. Our first check-in question. I know you are all of us are very busy this time, preparing for the opening of the school year, which is very much delayed already because of our situation. It's supposedly opened by June, but then we'll be opening it by August. So we still have time to prepare, and everybody's busy preparing. So my next question is, be ready to answer. Be ready with your chat box. Nawawala. Okay. My next question. What are some of the challenges met in this time of pandemic, especially in education? My next question. What are some of the challenges met in this time of pandemic, especially in education? You may write your answer on the chat box. Sir Dean, please.
Yes, we're ready to read your answers. Challenges. Unstable internet connection. All right, we can barely manage to catch up with the pop-ups here, considering that we have at least 4,000 participants at the moment, and when everybody does it,
4,000.
the text runs so fast. Poor internet connectivity. I managed to catch that one. All right.
That's always the problem.
All right. Health issues. All right. I'm
Health
sorry I can't read your
issues.
name anymore. The
Yeah.
text is
Okay.
really running so fast. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So I will proceed. So siguro, marami sa atin, all of us are, especially in the education, are very much challenged. Because in this time of pandemic, we need to be creative. We need to be resourceful and flexible enough in order to cater the needs of our learners. You see, we have different types of learners in the classroom. We have the auditory learners, the visual learners, and we also have the kinesthetic learners. And remember, they are at home right now. Okay? So these are some of the challenges met, especially the connectivity. In fact, in our place also, our problem is also connectivity. May it be Globe, Smart, or PLDT. I am not advertising. So when reflecting upon the changing educational landscape that is taking place during remote learning, there are many challenges and dilemmas our educators are facing today. Fortunately, as observed, our educators this time are creative, they are dynamic, they are resourceful professionals who have the ability to turn challenges into opportunities. One notable challenge facing educators during remote learning is how to teach reading and literacy from a distance. We know reading is a tool. If the child doesn't know how to read, it's impossible for him to learn mathematics and other subjects at the same time. So, I will bring you to our journey for this morning. There are actually our journey. We will talk about distance learning, reading and its importance, science of reading readiness, beginning reading, effective ways to teach reading, strategies in teaching beginning reading using distance learning. Now remember, what comes to your mind when you hear distance learning? What are the advantages and drawbacks of distance learning? And last is, how are we going to teach beginning reading in during, using distance learning? So my question is, what is distance learning? Wait, we'll transfer this one here. What is distance learning? Sir, I cannot really see okay, I will be transferring it here. You know, this is connectivity. What is distance learning? Everybody on the screen. Distance learning is the way of getting education without visiting a school or attending a class physically. So the material related to the distance learning is delivered through mail. But due to technological advancements that we have today, it is available on your computer screen with the help of various tools like email, multimedia learning tools, interactive communication, and we also have video conferencing tools like Easy Talk, Cloud Meeting, Zoom Meeting, even Google Meet, and we also have Facebook page, and we also have websites, and of course the common learning modules. Okay, so as an educator, we can really greatly challenge. In what way? On how to make our learning package, our lesson short, easy, and fun. Why? Because children are children. They have, especially the early childhood stage, they have short attention span. And because also they are at home. And at home, they are preoccupied with lots of activities. Maraming laruan, may television, may maraming kompetensya ang ating mga learning package na ibibigay, yung mga assignments na ating ibibigay, yung mga works na ating ibibigay sa mga bata. So, what do we do? So we have to use online, or what we call distance learning. And this also ties in with the fact that students can also access our course materials at the time that works best for them. I heard a while ago na ibibigay, teachers will no longer, I think, make the modules, but they're going to make the learning package na ibibigay sa mga bata. Now, in the learning, in using distance learning, there are three important considerations. No? And number one consideration is the location. Hindi ko na makikita kasi, Sir Joy, pwede ko bang makuha itong people kasi nakaka-distract na siya. That's one. Wait. Hindi ko makikita yung ano. Never mind. So when using distance learning, nawawala ating camera.
Okay.
I need to move this up, sir, kasi distracting yung 24 people see waiting room. So when using distance learning, learners work at home while the teacher assigns work and checks in digitally. Another is interaction. Now, why do we consider interaction as we need to consider that? Distance learning includes no person interaction between teacher and learner. However, you will likely rely on digital forms of communication, such as messaging apps, video call discussion, boards, and school learning management system. And another is, of course, intention. Distance learning is a method for delivering instruction online, not as a variation in teaching style. But ngayon, dalawa ang ginagamit natin sa education. We have what we call the distance learning, the online distance learning, and the modular distance learning. So, ano ang mga advantage natin? Now, what are the advantages of distance learning? Distance learning can continue without disruptions, even in events of COVID-19 pandemic. And distance learning provides greater flexibility for learners to work at their own pace and review work as needed. Another advantage is that your learners can complete most of their work at their convenience. And most of the classes are asynchronous. So which means they don't have to attend a lecture or a class at a particular time and place. They can review the assignments and do their homeworks anytime of the day at home. So another advantage is gain extra knowledge. No? So it's the parent, the teacher, and even our learner can gain extra knowledge. You can transfer the computer and internet skills that you gain in the process of your distance learning experience to the other facets of your life. So in other words, you can just, apply this anytime. Another is distance learning is self-paced learning. especially for the slow and quick learners. So this reduces stress and increases satisfaction. And another is accessibility. You don't have to worry about gaining access to a classroom or sitting on an uncomfortable desk. Instead, learners can use their comfortable furniture in their home while enjoying free movement. So ito ang naka-advantage. Okay. So we're done with the, of course, we're done with the advantages. So we'll now move on to the drawbacks. So meron din palang drawbacks ang paggamit ng distance learning. Okay? So what are these problem? What are these issues? No? So it's not feasible to use. It's not feasible to use distance learning if your learners don't have access to devices, especially the learning materials that you will be making. Because I know you are now busy, the teachers are now busy doing or making the learning materials, or of course, the internet at home. And it makes it difficult to keep tabs on whether your students are actually working. So hindi kagaya sa classroom na makikita natin yung mga bata, we can go, we can cater on them individually, but at home it's different. No? Yung parents is in-motivate pa sila if they really work or not. So we cannot see that. Then they can make also, wow, this is very challenging. In fact, this is our problem. This is one of our issues or concern that we raise in our university because we are asked to use Google Classroom. And one of the issues that we raise is can make cheating easier than online learning. No? So, kasi at home, siguro parents will help them to answer the questions or the guardians will help them answer the questions or yung mga classmates mag-share ng mga answers nila. And another drawback is it can result in even more screen time for your learners. See? And it's costly and complex technology. And of course, most importantly, advanced planning. Distance learning also does not offer immediate feedback. Why? Because teachers has to wait. He has to wait for the students to submit. Unlike in the classroom na check ka agad, then the next day, makikita ka agad yung scores or your feedback na they need help or they need help from a parent or they need tutorial or remedial. Then another drawback is distance learning does not give students the opportunity to work on oral communication skills. Okay? So, yes, unlike in the classroom na we let everyone as much as possible talk in the classroom, share their ideas, talk about their experiences. There will be conversation going on in the classroom. So it does not give students the opportunity to develop or to hone their oral communication skills. Another is social isolation. Of course, being with other child or being with other children is very important, especially in the socialization, social development of the child. So, um, the socialization purposes, no, mawala siya in the distance learning. Why? Because they won't be able to meet their classmates. They won't be able to share. They won't be able to talk with one another. Okay. So, what is the challenge now? So, we are greatly challenged. Distance learning presents us all with formidable challenges. We are learning how to do things differently for a while. We are challenged, my dear friends. How do we teach beginning reading using this platform, which is distance learning? Before I will share how to teach beginning reading, let me have a review on what reading is, especially na nalimutan na natin, no? Good for the teachers na who are on the on hand or na siya ang nagtuturo talaga how to teach reading. So, why is reading important? Why is reading readiness? And how we know that learner is ready to read? What are the stages of reading development so that the writers, the teachers, the module writers, the teachers who are planning the lessons will be able to cater the different needs of their learners? And what appropriate activities and materials they are going. This is very important. The activities that they are going to work on, that they are going to answer at home. So, what are they going to prepare? How are they going to prepare? Especially that there is no face-to-face interaction between the teacher and the learner. So, let me begin by answering what is reading. It's on the screen. I want everybody to read. Reading is a complex cognitive process of decoding symbols in order to construct or derive meaning. And reading is a means of language acquisition, of communication, and of sharing information and ideas. How to teach reading has been the subject of much debate over the years. No? It's form of stimulation for the child and it's beneficial to their language development. And through reading, they are like learning how to open the book, how to communicate, watch colors, patterns in the page, and most importantly, settling them off. Okay? So, next slide, please. All right. So, how to teach reading has been the subject of much debate over the years. So, that is why we need to prepare our learners before they go grade 1, before they go grade 2 and 3. They need to undergo reading readiness first. And reading readiness happens during preschool years. That's from 6 to 5 year old because 5 year old is already kindergarten. So what is reading readiness? Reading readiness skills are those abilities necessary for a person to begin the process of learning to read. And what does this include? It includes phonemic awareness, alphabetic principle, teaching a child how to handle a book properly, in understanding and interpreting illustrations, or we call it visual discrimination. So what would happen during readiness or reading readiness time? Or what will happen when we develop the reading readiness of the child during the preschool stage? Well, of course, we need to expose our students, our learners, to visual and auditory discrimination. We need to teach them the colors first, the shapes, the different sounds, the sounds of the alphabet, the sounds of the letters of the alphabet, same and different, what comes, which one is not the same, or which of the pictures are the same, and of course, the pre-writing skills. So we already prepare children this time during the preschool stage. So, slide, please. How do we know if our child is ready to read? Reading readiness signs. So there are signs. So when the child has an interest, he is ready to read. When he likes to retell stories, when the child can read her own name, can play with language by making rhymes, and he knows to handle a book properly. And the child understands the text as a meaning, and the child can recite the alphabet. So when they show this skill, we could already tell as a teacher or as a parent, we could already tell that the child is now ready to read, especially if he could recite the alphabet, if he could identify and name some or all the letters of the alphabet, when he can respond to some or letters or all letters to the correct sound, and when the child can echo a simple text that is read to them. So so are we like na-review ba tayo? So, na-review ba tayo kung what is reading and why is it reading readiness is really very important, and why do we need to have readiness skills for our child before they go into formal reading, or we call it beginning reading stage. So literacy, my friends, literacy is not something that just happens, no? One does not wake up literate, nor does one become literate in the same way that one learns to walk. It is intuited from the environment that, nor it's simply a matter of physical maturation. Literacy learning requires instruction and practice. And this learning occurs across discrete stages. And I will be presenting to you the different stages of reading development. My dear friend, research studies have established that the critical years of the child's life are from birth to 6 years, because during these years, basic character, values, abilities, personality, skills, attitude, and knowledge are formed. So kaya, many are opening schools. Many are opening nursery schools. Many are opening mga play schools. Many are opening kindergarten schools, and it's sprouting actually. There are a lot of private schools who are opening schools to cater the needs of these children. Why? Because of what the researchers said, that this is the critical years. So dapat lang na ang mga teachers, ang mga parents are very, very vigilant. Kasi alam nyo na kung ano ang makikita sa mata ng bata, akala nila yun ay tama. So we need to be careful during this time. So that is why our our um, theorists, our theorists mention that most of our theorists mention that early schooling is really, really very important. Early schooling is really, really very important. So let's move on. Let's proceed to the stages. We'll go to stage one. Now, what is stage one? This is what we call emergent pre-readers, or this happens during 6 months to 6 years old. Now, the child sits, what happened during this stage? So this is the preschool stage now. So in here, the child sits on beloved laps. Whose lap? Could be the mother's lap, father's lap, or even the teacher's lap. Samples and learns from a full range of multiple sounds, words, concepts, images, stories, exposure to print, literacy materials, and just plain talk during the first 5 years of life. And that's according to Wolf of 2008. That is why, ano ang nasa classroom natin? Ano ang nasa bahay natin? If you could see kindergarten classroom and nursery classroom, there are a lot of Teachers are putting a lot of things in their classroom. And even parents are buying books, mga flashcards, ano pa yung binibili nila, mga posters. Because this is the right time that we teach. This is the emergent reading. This is the right time that we prepare children to read. Okay? So the next stage, oh, wait. What to expect from an emergent reader? What to expect from this stage? Children know already some letters of the alphabet. They usually, usually these letters are associated with their names or friends and family. And these letters are even associated with objects, no, with the things around. And this stage, children already understands that books actually tell a story. And you will notice that they start to follow what is happening in the text a lot more. So, what there are some ways how to help them, how to help these children. Encourage pretend reading. So that is why at home or even in the classroom, we prepare a lot of materials, reading materials, flashcards, storybooks, world less book, big books, and so on, and talk about the story. That is why one of the one of the one of the things that teacher has to develop is she needs to master how to tell story. So that is why in my class in the college, because I'm handling early childhood education major subjects, I usually like let my students practice every day storytelling, because that is very, very important that us teachers tell story. And we should also like encourage our parents to also talk about stories as well. And then of course, prepare materials for pre-reading skills development. So let's move on to stage two. Stage two is novice readers. And this is the 6 to 7 year old. This is already grade one, grade two. So in this stage, the child is already learning the relationship between letters and sounds and between printed and spoken words. Kasi tinuro na yan sa kindergarten. Tinuro na yan. There are actually private schools who are already teaching nursery children how to read CVC words. No? Pero sa kindergarten, sa public school, dito na tayo nagsa-start sa kindergarten. But some of our students in the kindergarten in the public school already have like prior knowledge. Some of them already knows how to read. So in here, the major discovery for the novice reader is the increasingly consolidated concept that letters connect to sounds of the language. So what to expect from novice readers? Novice reader. So teaching strategies to work out words on the page. Okay? Because they already have a better understanding of the stories that are present in each book. And they will begin to correct themselves as they attempt to spell out words and learning when something isn't right. So what are some ways to help them? First, we need to be patient. Teacher has to be patient. Parents has to be patient. Don't be too quick to correct or help them. Instead, we need to assist them little by little. We don't need to force them. According to Rosso, don't force your child to read if he is not ready. That is according to Rosso. That's one of the theories that we are learning, that we are studying. According to Rosso, ayaw, huwag silang pahirapan muna. But instead, help them, prepare them. But do not say na, sabi ni teacher, sabi ni Dr. Navarro, wait muna until they mature. No. So while waiting for them to mature, of course, we need to like prepare them, like showing them books and other materials, the pre-reading materials. And of course, discuss the book at the end. So let's move on to the last stage, the decoding readers. And this happens, ano ba yan? Grades 1, grades 2, and grades 3. So in this stage, the child is reading simple, familiar stories. In fact, ang iba, hindi na nga simple eh. Pinaparead na ng mga long stories and selection with increasing fluency. So this is done by consolidating the basic decoding elements. We have the sight, vocabulary, and meaning in the reading of familiar stories and selections. So na-review ba tayo, mga friends, mga bosses, mga boss ng DepEd Region 8? So what to expect from a decoding reader? This time, they will start reading silently in their head. And they will begin to recognize punctuation marks and use this in their reading. And they will be much better at self-correcting when they get words wrong. Okay, so are we still in? Magtaas ng finger if you're still in. Okay, good. Raise your hand. So what are some ways? Are we all good? Oh, nawala na yung ulan dito. Minute na. So some ways to help them. Take them to the library if you're in school. But what about at home? No? So we have to bring them to like, give them books and let them choose books of topics they are interested in. Sit by them. So we encourage the parents. Kasi sa school, alam ko for sure, because I was a preschool teacher for 17 years. I was a kindergarten teacher for 17 years. So I have to sit with my students during their reading time. Actually, I give dear time. I always give dear time every day. I spend 5 to 10 minutes, 15 minutes for a dear time. Sit by them. Dear means drop everything and read. So sit by them, even if they start reading in their head, and get them to participate in their writing. So this is the time to like, if the child is exposed much on reading, this is the time that you can also do writing, making them more creative. So how do we teach? How do we teach beginning reading? Okay, making your child learn to read is not simple as it may seem to be. I think this is the problem of our teachers now. In my grad school class, because I'm handling grad school, graduate school, master's in early childhood education. Sabi nila, Ma'am, Dr. Navarro, umabot ng mga bata, grade 3, grade 4, hindi pa marunong magbasa. Sabi ko, why? But do not put your fingers, do not blame, do not put the blame to the teachers, do not put the blame to the parents, but we need to help one another. No? Bakit hindi pa nakabasa ang bata, umabot na ng grade 4, grade 5? So maybe because no one guided him. So walang nakaguide sa kanya when he was still in this early childhood stage. So how to teach beginning reading? Making your child learn to read again is not simple as it may seem to be. Therefore, it is of prime importance that you are aware of the aspects which must be part of the program and that you are utilizing in order to make your child learn to read. So I would like to share a video on the short video, how to teach a child to read in 2 weeks. I got this from the YouTube, and you can even get the link on this after. Okay?
Hello ma'am, no sounds. Paki-activate ang share computer audio.
of activate computer.
Sa taas, sa taas.
Select.
More.
Sorry po. Audio setting.
Hover sa kanang um, upper.
Ayan. Share computers now.
Yes.
Okay. We'll do it again.
Development. Do you want to give your child the best chance to be successful in school? Then let me show you how to teach them to read the right way.
Thank you,
Don't
ma'am.
worry that they're too young. This new method I'm about to show you has been used to teach children younger than 3 years old how to read. But first, I need to make you aware of some important new findings. The whole language method is no longer the recommended method for teaching children to read. That method teaches children to learn complete words based on their shape. In the long run, this will slow your children's reading mastery. Because complete words is not how we teach children to speak. Instead of using the word shape method, the reading panel suggests that children learn to read better through a unique combination of synthetic phonics and phonemic awareness skills development. It works like this. Spoken English is made up of sentences. These sentences are made up of words, and words are made up of phonemes. Phonemes are the smallest units of sound in language. There are 40 plus phonemes in the English language. Let me show you an example. A word dog. Children associate each letter with a phoneme. So, d, a, g. Then they learn how to blend these phonemes. Dog. To read the word dog. By teaching children the phonemes first, and then the letters and letter groups that spell them, children learn much faster than when learning letters or word shape first. There is a proven direct link between your child's future academic performance and success and the positive early experiences they have of developing reading skills. Teaching your child to read at the earliest possible moment is the greatest gift and skill you can give them. So click the link below now.
Okay, so you can click the link. Just look for that. How to teach a child to read it. So learning to read, use synthetic phonics and phonemic awareness. The development of phonemic awareness skill in your child is essential for him to improve his reading skills. And then, learning to read means learning lessons are short. So the lessons that we will be giving to our students should be short but effective. You know, our students, our learners, the early childhood stage, they have short attention span. And even in the classroom, they can only sit still for 15 to 20 minutes. That is why we have this box of time to follow what comes next. So we are very hooked into that time, no? Because we need to be like creative enough. We need to be like, lessons should be fun, lessons should be short, and lessons should be like interesting. Make use of children's desire to get to know about new things in an effective fashion. And lessons are combining synthetic phonics and phonemic awareness skills in short and, of course, interactive lessons. So, how do you teach beginning reading effectively? Now, reading is a complex exercise. We have to teach our learners to read the written and to build vocabulary simultaneously. On top of all this, as learners grow, they need to master more complex reading skills, such as inferencing. So what are the best reading strategies that teachers and parents need to know? All right. So the best answer to this question is, how do we teach them? The best answer to this question you must approach reading instruction is based on your child's development level. And there are three levels: the early beginning reader, the emergent reader, and the advanced reader. So you will be able to teach reading more effectively when you recognize the strength and weaknesses of each developmental level and later years. So alam na ng guro yun, alam na ng teacher yun, paano niya i-attack. Alam na ni teacher kung paano niya i-attack. Because our learners in the classroom, diverse. Iba-ibang learners natin. So I would like to share with you some tips on the beginning, some tips for beginning readers. Let's jump right in. So let's have a letter A. A highly effective ways to teach reading to beginners is to help them build extensive and extensive background knowledge in vocabulary skills. So as we teach readers, as we teach our learners more vocabulary, make sure that learning is playful, because most learners learn best when they play. So how do we develop vocabulary strategies for the learners? Number one, build their oral vocabulary through conversation. So what do? We encourage learners to frequently interact verbally. That is why in this pandemic time, no face-to-face, parang malimited yung mga bata in terms of interacting verbally. So there should be, at home, there should be more conversation that will build on the vocabulary they may already know. And then we need to combine pictures with vocabulary words in action. For example, putting a poster with a signage for shaking hands, hugging, greeting with a bow or folded hands. We're just smiling and get the learners to point at how they want to be moving and encourage them to say the words aloud and then act them out. Number three, we have to play games to identify everyday items. You know what? Boring teachers will make reading seem like a chore. So, kailangan yung teachers natin, no one is, walang boring teachers sa classroom, especially in reading. Why? Because we make learning to read more fun with games that help learner build vocabulary. In fact, there are already a lot of materials, we already have a lot of instructional material that we can do. And even parents can also do it at home together with the children. Don't make this as part of your learning package that you will be giving to your students. Now, what is the simple ways to teach real literacy skills? Now, introduce learners to books with full text. Remember the word best books or simple word books such as this book that help early readers build essential vocabulary skills. Yeah. So start a story prompt. So we use flashcards or picture books to begin a make-believe story. Then we allow learners to create the next part or line of the story it started, making them like finish. What is the next scene? So making them think, making them creative. One of the skills that we need to develop in the 21st century for children is develop the thinking skills. Okay, and this helps them build the foundation for sequencing in. Now, let them also read simple rebus reader. Read simple rebus. This one books help beginning readers answer your story prompts. Identify sight words and build vocabulary, which are all important read literacy skills. And what is this was reader? We have a puzzle that uses symbols or pictures to represent the sounds of the word. Then we also have a rhyme. So, what are the easy ways to teach alphabetic principles? How to make it easy to teach? Now, what is the main difference between alphabetic principle and numeracy? It was discussed in the video a while ago. So, what do? We need to introduce single letters and their sounds. And English is not a phonetic language, but language learning is a lot about listening and hears like sounds. So, confusion can set in, but reduce space and increase fun games for practice. Okay? So, learning, according to Dewey, learning by doing. According to THA, children must be hands-on. In order for them to develop their cognitive skills, they need to have hands-on. So how they can do hands-on? How they can discover their knowledge if they do not have the materials, if the teacher or the parents do not have the materials. Then get kids to say words which start with a sound. This can be combined with the same teaching strategies used to teach vocabulary words. Put pictures with words next to everyday items. Emphasize the sound that initial letter make. And sound for single vowel. Give sounds like A for apple, um, F for egg, E for eat. This is for the vowels and for the single consonant sounds. So they need to start learning all this. The vowel sounds and the consonant sounds. That is very important for the pre-reading skills, for the beginning reading skills, which is reading this time CBC words, the digraph, the blends, and so on and so forth. So, what about the kinesthetic and tactile activities? How do they do it? They write letters in the sand because remember, in the classroom or even at home, there are children who are visually learners, auditory learners, and kinesthetic and tactile learners. So, may mga bata na ayaw nilang marinig, they learn best, no? The learning modalities, they learn best when they have hands-on, when they do things. Kung makikita na niya, when the child is greatly involved. So here, they write letters in the sand, for the shaping crib, use magnetic letters, ropes, and other items that beginning readers can touch as a fun way to build letter recognition. This is what we're doing in the nursery. This is what we're doing in the kindergarten. Hindi lang yung introduce, this is letter A, the beginning sound is A, but we need to put a lot of activities. No? Give more and let them play. Another is letters among letters. So before the learners can identify letters as letters, they can play at spotting them. For example, writing egg on the board with space in between. Now hold up the letter E and ask the learners to spot it, what's written, and add more words on the board which include E and ask them to spot all the occurrences. So parang laro-laro lang. Even in the classroom, we don't make it like a chore or they don't make it do it seriously. No? These children are children. So let's play the words. Let's play reading. I am teaching play theory and practice in the grad school. So I told my students in the grad school now, why not make your lessons, play your lessons. No? Make it in a playful manner. So we have here complete letter graph, decorating object, which starts with a letter. So see there, we have letter A, B, C, D, E. Parang pinu-form nila yung alphabet. No, you can have it, the big letter and the small letters. Pace lang, and they would really enjoy doing this. And you know what? If you have this kind of activity, my gosh, learning is meaningful and they will never forget. I've been I experienced this for 17 years. And at the end of the year, wow, my gosh, I am very, very happy. Why? Because my children can already read the age of 5, 6. Basta exposure lang. And of course, with the help of the parents, of course. Now, another is um, ideas for helping beginning readers build phonological awareness. So here, we need to play phonological awareness games. We have the pairing game. One will say words, and the other has to say a word. One will say word, and the other has to say a word with a sound it ends on. One may say the word red. The other will need to say a word like dog because red ends with D. So you need to look for a word that starts with the letter that the end letter of the word that is saying. Since the word red ends with D. And this is like difficult for the older children. So you can modify. You can make modification. We can always modify our activities depending on the level that we are teaching. It means it should be developmentally appropriate activities paired with developmentally appropriate materials. Then get kids to call out rhyming words with you. So form various words with the same set of sounds, play rhyming games with nonsense words. So these are examples that we can do even at home. Parents and children can do this. Teachers and children can even do this. We have the rhyming. These are only examples. But you can have, I know teachers are very, very creative. They can even be more creative than what I am showing you right now. We have there the materials that they're going to use. And also try basic tongue twisters. Okay? Shall we have a practice? My dear friends, my dear mga boss natin sa DepEd Region 8. Well, let's try this. How much wood with a woodchuck? Sir, can we like unmute some? Let's have because if I'm doing face to face, I really have to let you say this. Can we have like practice? Can I have a volunteer? Sardine, can we have a volunteer? Walang mag-volunteer? How much wood would a woodchuck chop? If a woodchuck would chop wood, he would chuck wood. Yeah. Sir, can we have a volunteer?
Do we have a volunteer out
Yeah,
there?
very good. Can you please read number 86? Can we have a try? Parang may ano naman tayo? Energizer, icebreaker. Can we have someone mag-volunteer?
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck? If a woodchuck could chuck wood, he would as wood he could, and chuck as much wood as woodchuck would if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
Hey! You see, if you're going to do this at home in the classroom. Yeah. Can I have another volunteer, sir? Number 40. I feel a funny feel. Another volunteer.
A funny feel. I feel. I feel. I feel a feel. Funny feel.
Can we do it together and then let's do it fast? 1, 2, 3, go.
I feel a feel.
I feel a funny feel. I feel.
Okay, thank you very much, Sergey. Thank you.
I feel a funny feel. If you feel the feel, I feel.
I feel a funny feel, a funny feel, I feel. If you feel the feel, I feel a funny feel.
Very good. I hear
Dali lang.
Mali lang yun.
I feel a funny feel, a funny feel, I
You feel the
feel.
feel.
The feel, I feel
I
a
feel
funny
a
feel,
feel,
you
a funny
feel.
feel.
Okay, thank you so much, Sir Dean. Pwede na silang ma-unmute.
All right. Thank you so much.
Salamat. So you see, remember my dear
Yeah,
friends,
na-
remember mga boss ng
Zoom.
DepEd, Region 8,
Zoom.
we cannot give if we do not have, right? So teachers also, we also need to practice. Kasi, kasi yung mga bata, ang mga bata,
Kailan mo ka na-kuha siya?
they're listening to
Na-install?
us. They're listening to us. So we need to be like, they need to practice. Another is, ano na to? The next one is what we call more effective ways to teach reading. Sir John, are we still in? May pa ba ako? Sir John naman, Sir Dean. Okay pa ba ako? Loud and clear? Kasi naririnig ko yung mga boses.
Okay. So,
Okay.
we'll proceed.
May I proceed? Yeah. May I proceed? So what are more effective ways to teach reading to beginners or beginning reading? Start small with sight words. If you can still remember, we have this 210 Dutch words. Start with this. Enjoy the robust world of words. In fact, in my nursery class, when I was still a teacher in preschool, I always give them like word for the day, words for the day. So this is one way of teaching reading to beginners. Okay? Show an image. Right, next. Alright, I have here sample. So mag-ano na naman tayo, ha? We will watch a video. We'll watch a video. Sample activity that we could give to our students.
Hello. Are you ready to read? All right, don't be shy. I want to hear your big
I
voice.
want to hear your big voice.
Here we go.
Come on. Follow. Facial expression tayo, ha?
You. Very good. You try.
Everybody read the you.
Okay.
Wow. 8 more words.
8 more. That.
More sides.
That.
It.
He.
That's E.
Was. For. On. Nice job. Now you try.
That
Okay, 9 more. You try.
With
is they Did you enjoy?
Yes, so much.
Enjoy gamit tayo mga Mga oldies, how much more with the younger children?
Yes, ma'am.
Ah,
It's true.
so ito lang ginagawa natin. Ito lang gagawin ng mga teachers. Use microphone, please. Okay, may I proceed now, Sir Din? So we use pictures and bring what is called into sounds or phonemes. For starter, use easily identified animals like cat, bat. So sounds outnumber the letters. So practice, practice. Work with small words, with fewer sounds, and then go to local words. Sir,
Teacher, mga
Sir, pwede mo unmute yung mga mute pala, mute. Okay. Now, the next one is play games to change the order to form new words. And then introduce the application if the learner is ready. And introduce onomatopoeia, words that mimic the sound of the object. So, now, what's the absolute best way to teach children to read? Huh? What's the absolute best way to teach children to read? So we already know the 25 tips, the tips that I gave you a while ago. So those are mga activities that we can do for early readers, for the beginning readers. So kids, remember, children learn at their own pace. No two children are alike. No two learners are alike. No? So we cannot really compare. Bakit si ganito hindi pa marunong magbasa? Bakit si ganito, si John, marunong magbasa very early? Bakit siya? Hindi pa, he cannot even say the beginning sound yet. Remember that. So teachers really have to individually nurture each child on their reading journey, especially using distance learning. So we know our students, ilang students that we have in class. So at least we know kung sino ang bibigyan ko nito, what type of activities. Siguro lahat it's package na yon, but then yung mga activities na gagawin, especially that we are not facing our students. It's very challenging. Why? It's the parents who are teaching their children. So I think we also need to orient our parents. We also need to the help of our parents. So paano na lang yung mga parents natin na nandun sa mga bukid, sa mga isla, na kulang sa mga, I'm not underestimating them, but they lack the knowledge. So this is really a very big challenge, a great challenge for us educators. So there is no one absolute way to teach reading to every single child. What's the absolute best way to teach children to read? Well, the activities that you're going. So educators are really challenged. The teachers are really challenged. So what are the challenges then? Teachers of today, they need to design learning activities that would capture the joy of reading. They need to innovate more. They need to be flexible. Remember that teaching reading is part art and part science. So we need to innovate this time to make our learners while they are at home with their parents and guardians. So we have this too. We have the online distance learning and the modular distance learning. So I would like to bring you to, before we move on, I would like to review what asynchronous and synchronous learning is. In asynchronous learning, learning allows you to take online courses. Teachers here provide materials, lectures, tests, and assignments that can be accessed at any time. Students may be given a time frame, usually 1 week, window during which they need to connect at least once or twice. And overall, Our learners here are free to contribute whenever they choose. And what is synchronous learning? This is an online classes that are those that require students and teachers to be online at the same time. Like ganito, yung itong ginagawa natin. The Zoom, this is synchronous learning. So, what happened? This is during lectures, discussion, and presentation or at a specific hour. So, kailangan kayong lahat, like Google um, Meet, mag-ano kayo, mag-video conferencing. So, all students must be online at that specific hour in order to participate. So, what do we use? So, we have the email, the chat box, or chat messenger, we have the virtual libraries, discussion board, telephone, podcast, social networking, and even video conferencing. So, now that we are facing this crisis, all we can say is that the show must go on. We cannot just close your eyes, we cannot just close our ears. Bahala na to sila, uy, ang sweldo, padayon lang gihapon. Diba? So we cannot do that. DepEd is urging us to continue. DepEd is urging us to continue teaching. We need to look at the other side of the coin. What can we really do to help our government, to help DepEd? What can we really do to help our learners? And what can we really do to help the parents, especially that they are at home this time? So we have this distance learning is a specific challenge for the families with young children. Thankfully, Department of Education doing something, especially in our early childhood educators. And they provide important connections and connect to familiar people and safe places in unsettled times. So here, learners have to learn at home with parents, yeah? Or guardians. So teachers need to innovate and make this what we call alternative delivery mode or module. And I heard kanina teachers are no longer make the module. They're only assigned people who will make the module, but teachers are going to design learning activities, no, to be given to the students. So I would like to mention about module is collaborative design, developed, and reviewed by educators both from public and private institutions to assist the learner. And the teachers or facilitators meet the standards set by the curriculum. And the learning resource or the module hopes to engage the learners into guided and independent learning activities at their own pace of time. And furthermore, the modules, the learning package, or the learning activities aims to help learners acquire the needed 21st century skills while taking into consideration their needs and circumstances. And what are those 44? The development, the collaboration, courses yon, creative thinking, collaboration, cognitive development, and creativity. Okay, so before writing module development, what role do we play in distance learning? So these are the different roles that we play. Ano siya? So we are the instructional designer, yung mga teachers. We are knowledgeable in neuroscience of learning. We are the facilitators.
Charger.
Can you please content coach or subject expert? We are the master communicator. We are the visual designer, the platform and technology specialist. We are the master administrator, the social leader, and of course, the authentic persona and builds personal brand. So remember, ito ang role natin. We have 5 roles to play. Ang dami pala, no? We have so many roles to play. Bakit tayo nag-teacher? But it's really a mission. So I have here suggested part of the So what I need to know, So here, this will give you an idea of the skills. So ito ang mga ginagawa nating mga learning package, no? Yung mga learning activities na ginagawa natin, yung mga ibibigay natin sa mga learners. So siguro sa mga learning package ninyo, meron diyang what I need to know, what I know, what's in. Ano itong what's in? This is the brief drill or review. Review ito to help you link the current lesson with the previous one. So what's new? The new lesson will be introduced. So what is it? Provide a brief discussion of the lesson. What's more? Comprises activities for independent practice. What I have learned. This includes question or blank sentences or paragraph to be filled in to process what you learned, what our learners learned from our lesson. And then what I can do. This section provides an activity which help you transfer your new knowledge or skill into real life situation or concern. And then of course, pagkatapos mag-develop mo ng lesson, na bigay mo ng lesson, this is the time where you can assess your child. So assessment, pagbibigay na tayo ng exam, pagbibigay na tayo ng quizzes. So this is a task which aims to evaluate your level of mastery. And then we also have additional activities, mga reinforcement activities. So in this portion, another activity will be given to your learners. So are we still in? Okay pa ba tayo? So what are the strategies then in teaching beginning reading using distance learning? So in distance learning, the delivery is delivery of programs, courses, and intervention that address the learner's unique needs in terms of pace, place, process, and product. So in pace, when can I go through the experience? So this is teacher-led. It could be synchronous or asynchronous. The place, where can I experience learning? Of course, wala tayo sa classroom. So we need to be at home. Children to be in the house, in a site specific. And the process, how do I experience learning? What do I use as a resources? Of course, modular. It could be printed or non-printed. And you have this, what you call the learning package or the learning activities. And of course, how do we see the product? What counts as evidence of learning? We have traditional. We have the manual and the automated. Pwede natin bigyan sila ng workbooks, worksheets for them to answer. Or we can even have it in the computer using like Google Classroom or a test using online. Okay? Are we still in? Malapit na. All right. I would like to share with you the flexible learning model. There are 4 quadrants. Tingnan natin kung saan tayong quadrant. Quadrant 1 ba tayo? Quadrant 2 ba tayo? Quadrant 3 ba tayo? Or quadrant 4? In quadrant 1, this is a combination of online and face-to-face. So we have the technology integration, blended learning, teacher facilitates or teacher is physically present. So wala tayo dyan ngayon kasi we don't do face-to-face. Now in quadrant 2, we have online delivery and distance or remote learning. So what do we have? What do we do here? Technology integration, blended learning, parent or tutor facilitates, teacher is present online. In the quadrant 3, we have here face-to-face and offline delivery. So printed download modules, usual teaching and learning, teacher facilitates, and teacher is physically present. So wala tayo sa quadrant 1, wala tayo sa quadrant 3. Tingnan natin ang quadrant 4. Offline, distance remote. So printed downloaded modules, varied teaching and learning, parent tutor facilitate, and teacher visit to check progress. So saan tayo dito? Which quadrant are we in? So we can be quadrant 2. Kasi sometimes we do not only do like module only. What if the child have connection? So we can even use video conferencing or video conferencing or Zoom using like PowerPoint presentation in demonstration of the lesson. So dito tayo, quadrant 4 or maybe quadrant 2. So what is best for the teachers and learners? So we have the virtual online classes demonstration using the available video app. There are a lot of video application. Explore lang tayo and we can use that. We have the modular distance learning, which is learning resources which will be distributed to the learner. And we also have Zoom class with PowerPoint presentation of the lesson. And we are using this. Most of our private schools here, may mga private schools tayo dito sa Cebu City, they use Zoom class. Kasi may mga connections yung mga bata. Then we have video conferencing. We have video apps called Manycons. Try to explore. They also give workbooks for the students at home. Then we use songs. We use crafts that are available in the website. We use ebooks. We use even digital story. We use games, radio, and television. Kasi according to DepEd Secretary Briones, pwede tayong gumamit ng radio. We can even expand to radio and television. So I have here sample. Hindi ko lang siya tapusin, just part of it. How to teach a child to read 3-letter word.
We are going to start making words and learning how to read. We are going to start very simple by using 3-letter words. First of all, we need to review the vowels. There are 5 vowels: A, E, I, O, and U. Each vowel has 2 sounds, a long sound and a short sound. The long vowel sound says its name, such as A, as in ape. The short sound for A as A, as in apple. The long sound for E is E, as in eagle. The short sound is E, as in
Okay, that's only a sample of teacher demonstrating a lesson. We can do that. We can use that. If the students have connections, why not? Diba? Why not? So we can even explore to that. Teacher, do it herself. Mag-video si teacher. Magpapakita ko ng sample mamaya. Then we have the sample nursery song. If you are going to expose your students, the learners like this, wow, may mga words na, may naririnig pa, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, tactile. Package na yon. So you can do that. Teachers can do that. Another is, of course, we cannot do away of storytelling. No? Kailangan mag-storytell si teacher, kailangan mag-storytell si mother, si nanay, si mama. Ay nako, pati mama at nanay ngayon, ano na sila, kasali na sila. So you have here a sample story that you could give. Or you can even, teacher can even make her own story. I mean, video herself.
There was a caterpillar. He had a lot of feet. All he did was eat and walk and eat and walk and eat. On every pair of feet, a pair of tiny shoes he wore. They stopped his little feet from getting really, really sore. Then, one day, he didn't want to eat or walk at all. And suddenly, his shoes felt rather tight and rather small.
Ouch!
He had a quite surprising urge to find them all new feet. So he set off through the woods at once, wondering who he'd meet. He found a friendly woodlouse underneath some logs.
Okay? So that's a sample story that we could use. And now, I am showing you a sample online class demonstration done by a teacher. Okay? Because this is one of the requirements that DepEd Mandaue City is asking the teachers para naman those of connections kasi Facebook, may mga Facebook na ang mga bahay-bahay. May mga Facebook na ang family natin, mga parents. They can even use Facebook. It's in the sample. No? Okay, let's have a sample.
Hello mga bata, mayong adlaw kaninyong tanan.
Kinukuha ng Biniseya.
Hello sa kita, magkuyog ta ng magkaton, magdula, mukanta, o magsayaw. Dali, magkuyog ta. Oops, sa eskwelahan? Dili, sa atong panimalay. Bisan asa pa man, magkaton gayud kita kung anaa ang pagtinabangay. Nya, andam na ka. Akong itudlo kaninyo ang bagong pamaagi sa pagkaton sa kindergarten. Gitawag kini og KLP or Kindergarten Learning Packets.
Mensahe sa unang adlaw. Aduna ako'y pangalan.
Mayong buntag, kumusta man kakarong buntaga? Be, lantaw ta sa palibot, unsa man ang imong nakita? O di ba, daghan kayo ka o nakita sa atong palibot? O karon, klaro kaayo maandam na ka sa atong buluhaton. Gali, magsugod na ta. Mao kini ang atong unang buluhaton, ang akong pangalan o name tag. Andam mo na to ang mga galamiton sa pagbuhat og name tag. Adunay sumbanan, adunay carton o cardboard or bisag unsa nga karton nga makita ninyo sa inyong
Parents can
panimalay.
help.
Marker,
Parents can help the
roller, yarn, or pwede sa liston sa inyong daan ng sapatos, gunting, glue, crayola.
Sa pagbuslot. Guntinga ang yarn o higot base sa imong sukod. Pasod
Akin sa man sila. Karon manganta usa ta. Manganta ta og mga porma ang tuno sama sa tuno sa watermelon. Lingin, 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 kwadrado, kwadrado, triangulo, rektangulo, triangulo, rektangulo, mga porma, mga porma.
Okay, so those that is one example where teacher can do in distance learning. Hindi lang yung puro paperworks na gagawin kasi pwede namang i-upload ni teacher yun sa Facebook. Diba? Mag-video lang, then you give all the instructions, and then you demonstrate. Then parents can do. Parents could assist. Diba? Simple as that lang. Sa teacher yon. So sa teacher ng kindergarten yon. So you can do that. You can like ask your teachers to also not only like limited yung binibigay natin, yung puro lang paperworks, but they can do like songs. The one I gave you, like they could do crafts at home, like they could do artwork while learning how to read. So these are samples of strategies in teaching vowels. So we have what we call the use visuals, the flashcards and charts. So i-run ko lang. Yeah, and then we have here the charts, the visuals, and then the cards. And then we will use hand motions. Kids will associate body motions with the shape of the letters. And then we have finger mapping. Use the fingers to word map as a visual clue to the structure of the word. And then we also have tactile activities for practicing sounds. So we have listen for the vowel, say a word at a time. Students will do the hand motion for the vowel they hear. And this activity will attach a movement essential for kinesthetic learners. So, i-run ko lang. Play words morph. Start with one word, then change the sound with each new word. Then we have play quick draw. Here, the teacher will say the word first and we'll let pupils follow. So, ang dami. We can use songs, we can use poems, we can use stories. Then how about teaching the alphabet? Wow, there are many. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Have consistent alphabet routine in school or even at home. go over alphabet charts for a specific time, accomplish alphabet-related morning work, and then strategy 2, we can have get moving. So we can integrate development of motor skills while learning the concept through the use of Play-Doh, Lego blocks, and so on and so forth. So we have sing out. Sing it out. Look for catchy songs and rhymes in teaching letters and sounds. And then make it fun and creative. Sorry. Provide activities that allows them to color, draw, cut, glue, match, assemble. And of course, strategy 5, use sandpaper letters. Strategy 6, read alphabet books. Use of alphabet puzzle boards. Okay? So those are mga readiness, mga beginning reading activities. Then what about teaching strategies and teaching literacy? So we have to run your finger, focus on vocabulary, point out the punctuation. Dito na lang. Run your finger under 2 words. So we have here the instruction, running your finger. So anyway, you will have this PowerPoint. I will share this PowerPoint to you. So you can have this. So you just read na lang. Because it's almost time. Then we need to focus on vocabulary. No, we need to focus on the vocabulary building. So the background knowledge that they'll draw on for future learning. This is very important. Then we have point out the punctuation. Punctuation is intimidating. So introducing your child to punctuation at an early age while you read to him is his favorite stories will help him feel much more comfortable. Then point out to the punctuation. Read with voice inflection. So it's been suggested that 93% of all communication is non-verbal, 55% body language, and 38% tone of voice. So, basahin nyo na lang. Then we have hunt for letters. Then we have search for sight words. Kaya I am encouraging the teachers to have print-rich environment. And even at home, we also encourage our parents to have print-rich environment. Naka-label yung mga bagay-bagay natin sa loob ng bahay. Para later on, even if you don't teach them how to read, later on, they will learn how to read. No? Little by little. Then ask your child to make a prediction. So before you start reading a new book, have your child look at the cover and ask them, what do you think is the title and what do you think will happen to the story and so on. Parang na-develop dun yung creative thinking nila. Then check for comprehension. Okay? So read it again and again. And repetition is key to learning. So most important to developing early childhood literacy skills is helping your child learn to love books and enjoy learning. Consider our parents as our partner. So pwede din natin itong ituro sa ating mga parents. So I have here pala sample of developmentally appropriate activities. Very short lang ito. So what we can do at home or even in school. So those are examples. No? You can access on that. I already have my YouTube channel. So you can access on my YouTube channel. I have lots of activities in my YouTube channel. So what can parents do to help the learners at home? We cannot say, oy parents, wag niyong turuan. Dapat silang magtuturo ng kanilang mga bata sa bahay. So parents are our partners. So they are considered our partners in the education of the learners. So in distance learning, parents play a big role. They are learning on how to do things differently for a while. So I have here some distance learning tips that can help both teacher and parents who make the best of a new, sometimes unfamiliar. So here, parents need to establish routine and expectations. So basahin nyo na lang, ha? Then the next one, choose a good place to learn. Ask our parents to choose a good place to learn. And then, sabihin natin sa parents, stay in touch. And of course, teacher will mainly be communicating regularly through our online platforms and virtual learning environments. Ha? Si teacher, nag-visit yan. Good for you there kasi hindi na masyadong naka-GCQ na kayo dyan sa lugar ninyo. To help students own their learning. So no one expect parents to be a full-time teachers or to be educational content. Provide support and encouragement. Expect our children to do their part. Begin and end the day by checking in the morning. Ano kaya ang gagawin ng anak ko ngayon? Okay? May assessment kaya. At the end of the day, magre-reflect na naman ang parent. Then establish times for quiet and reflection. So for families with children of different ages, maraming anak, parents who may also be unexpectedly working from home more often. So parang give space. Build in some time for peace and quiet. Okay? Children will do their homework. The brother is doing also their homework. The sister is also doing their homework. So then you need to negotiate. Then encourage physical activity and exercise. Health is very important now. So vital, no? It's well-being, our readiness. The well-being is very important for readiness for learning. Then manage stress and make the most of an unusual situation. Ginagawa to ng mga parents, nagre-reklamo na, hindi nakikinig sa akin ang mga bata. Hindi nakikinig. So that's why parents need also to manage your stress and teachers also need to manage the stress. How to help one another. Monitor time on screen and online. And then connect safely with friends and be kind. So it doesn't mean na i-isolate natin. Sinabi ko kanina, one of the disadvantages is ang mabata na isolate siya. So the initial excitement of school being closed will fade quickly when students start missing their friends and classmates. So connect, like letting them meet through online siguro yung mga classmates nila. So, all learning is based on play. So resources, items found around the home or commercially produced can be used. Space, the indoors or outdoors, small and cozy. Time, and then it should be extended and uninterrupted to play. And then being okay with some mess. It's okay, tell your parents it's okay. That's part of growing. Learning is messy and unpredictable in all respects. And joining in. Support and enhance the play rather than leading in. Okay? So, return. Return to where? To the future. We are all experts in our own fields. And we will support and respect each other at this difficult time. Soon, we will begin our normal lives again. Kay new normal pa man ta karon. So we don't know yet when, but sooner or later, it will come. Knowing that our learners are safe, that the continuity of learning has been maintained, and that although things may be significantly different for all of us for a while, well, DepEd Region 8 will offer the same high quality as before and even do more. Bakit? Grabe na ang ating mga innovations na gagawin ngayon. And the teachers will collect the myriad threads of the children's learning during their time at home, of their thinking, of their new wisdom learned from the precious and extended time being with parents. And the teachers will apply their expertise as educators for young learners in continuing the rich tapestry of early childhood, and interspeed with the thread of gold and the partnership between home and school in the precious journey of childhood, have had this unique extended time to create. So, return to the future. Before I end, I'm done. I'm done. But before I end, let me read a story about the wine or water. This is a story about a king. There was once a king who was visiting a town. In preparation for the king's visit, the town decided to fill a giant barrel with wine and present it to the king upon his arrival. Where were they going to get that much wine to fill the giant barrel? So they came up with a brilliant idea. Each family of the town would bring one flask filled with wine and pour it into the giant barrel. And this way, the barrel will fill with wine.
Tapos na, sir.
They place a giant barrel in the center of the town with a ladder reaching to the top, and every day people line up to pour the flask of wine into the barrel. The day finally arrived, and the king visited the town. The people were so excited to present the king with this wonderful gift. The king was shown the barrel and was given a kingly goblet. They filled this goblet with wine from the giant barrel, and the townspeople were shocked by the look on the king's face as he drank the wine. And the king was obviously very unhappy. When asked why he was so unhappy, he responded, "Oh, it's just a plain water." It turns out that each family thought to themselves, why should I be the one to pour in a flask of wine? I will pour in water instead. I am sure no one will notice if there is one flask of water among all that wine. And everyone in the town made the same calculation. And so, no one poured in wine, but rather water instead. And everyone was relying on someone else. That's the end of my story.
Wow. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
What's the lesson of the story? What is the takeaway of the story? No? The story is about how we take our responsibility this time of pandemic. You see, we are given a very huge responsibility. Imagine no face-to-face. We need to write now our learning materials, no? So this is about taking our responsibility seriously. We should be accountable to all, accountable to our students, accountable to DepEd, accountable to our family, our very own family, and accountable to our boss, and most importantly, accountable to our mission. So, remember, do as agreed. Okay? So what has been being agreed? Do it. That's not for our own good, but it's for the good of everyone. We choose to become a teacher, we choose to become an educator, so do as agreed. So to end, I have here check-out questions. Kanina, Sir Dean, may check-in questions ako. So you don't need to ask me questions. Hindi na kayo mag-aasa sa akin, ha? Okay lang, but I will give you questions. I am letting you write your answer, so it's up to you lang. I want you to write your answer in the chat box because I know our administrator is like recording or documenting on the question. Number 1. Sir Dean, are we ready?
All right.
Okay, ready natin ang mga chat box natin.
Let's get
What?
to roll.
Number 1, hindi na sila magtatanong sa akin, Sir Dean. Ako na magtatanong sa kanila. What am I excited or worried about related to today's session? Just one word. 1 to 2 words. What am I excited or worried about related to today's session? Meron na nag-answer, Sir Dean?
Come on, let's type in our responses to the question, our answers.
What am I excited or worried about related? Just 1 to 2 words, 3 words maybe. Do we have an answer?
Let's send our answers.
Sir Dean, pakibasa.
Hello, dyan po pa kayo?
Nandiyan pa 563 participants.
Come on, let's all write our answers.
I-type lang, chat lang. What are you excited or worried about related to today's session? Meron na ba tayong answer, Sir Dean?
The first answers we have from Ma'am Reynolds.
From what place?
There's no indicated place.
Sige, anong answer?
We have another one here from Ma'am Emmy Caviedes. Outcome.
Oh.
Another one from Ma'am Sonia Cabalona. Parents' participation.
Wow.
Worried about the participation of our parents.
Worried about the participants.
Right.
That's the issue now.
And of
Okay.
course,
Last one more.
Proper implementation of
Yeah, that's right. How are we going to implement? Yes. Number 2, Sir Dean.
All right.
What's my biggest learning or insight from today's session? One word lang or 2 words?
Well, let's start typing. The biggest learning
or insight from today's session.
All right. Patience.
Oh,
adaptability.
Yes, that's right.
That's right. Distance learning approach. Commitment.
Commitment and dedication. That's very
I think I
important.
also saw innovation. Ability.
Yes.
Now, we're having a lot of responses.
Sige, salamat po. My last question po, Sir Dean.
Okay. And
Dean, my
finally,
last question. What do I choose to do differently next time?
Dean.
Very challenging question to. What do I choose to do differently next time? What do I choose to do differently next time?
Okay, we're seeing the first answers. To innovate.
Oh, I like that.
To grapple with the new normal.
Yes. To innovation.
The one is being creative and innovative in doing things.
Wow, our participants are very participative, huh?
Yes.
I like that. So I think that would be all. Sir Dean, thank you so much for facilitating the checkout question.
Thank you so much.
My dear friends, I would like to give this quote by Novel Prefectant. 3 things in life lang tayo. 3 important things in life. First, our health. Because we cannot do our work if we are not feeling well, if you're not healthy. Of course, our mission. Our mission to educate our learners. Our mission to serve. And of course, the people will love. Who will love? The people around us. 3 things in life: your health, your mission, and the people you love. That's it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Daghang salamat. Unsa nang daghang salamat? Daghang salamat. Thank you. I hope
Daghang salamat.
Yeah, I hope na nakatabang I help. I hope I was able to touch lives of the people, the what do you call this? The bosses of Region 8. And thank you so much, Sir Dean. Thank you to RD. RD always a friend. Is our and thank you to all those who are participated. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Wow.
Hope to see you again, face to face. Kailangan face to face na.
That was a very comprehensive and engaging session on the teaching of beginning reading through distance learning. The things we have learned today can really help us deal with many of the issues confronting the delivery of instruction. And with this, we would like to thank and salute our resource speaker for sharing with us these exciting strategies. Thank you so much, Mom Tez. Thank you for sharing your time and expertise. With these inputs, I am confident that those who are in attendance will be more creative in delivering a quality instruction to the learners. And by the way, this activity today would not be complete without adding one more important element to the beautiful picture we are seeing in our live session. Guess what? I've got a pleasant surprise for you all, because right now, despite being away
Ma'am,
official travel,
stop share, ma'am.
for actual monitoring in the field, particularly in the division of Northern Samar, our tireless and hardworking regional director is with us to share some inspiring thoughts. To our deputy champions, please join me in welcoming the chief architect of all these meaningful and purpose-driven endeavors, Dr. Ramir B. Oitico. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Okay.
Oh, spotlight. Sir Joy, spotlight si sir. Okay. What are you sound is, sir? Sound. Active na, active. Sir Joy?
Okay. Actually, unmuted na si sir. I think at their end.
Unmuted na, sir. Okay. Unmute. Sir Joy, paki-unmute ni Sir Ma'am Annalyn. Annalyn, ano search yun? Ang ngaran? Search. Okay. Annalyn Balero, sir. Adina.
Okay, okay na?
Yes, sir. Okay na.
Okay, good morning. When Jude presented to me the list of trainers for another set of webinars, and I saw the name of Dr. Tizza Navarro. Immediately, I approved it because I have known the expertise of Dr. Tizza, and she comes from Cebu Normal University. And presently, I am the alumni president of the Cebu Normal University Alumni Association. So thank you very much, Dr. Tizza. And in fact, plano namin ni Dr. Tizza before na siya yung mag-run sa session on yung ano natin, pajama party, hindi natuloy. But at last, Dr. Tizza is with us on beginning reading. This is part of the new normal, ladies and gentlemen. Kahit itong pag ano natin, putol-putol yung signal, tapos hindi natin inaasahan na anytime sa webinar, ano, you will be out, ganyan. So at least this part of our transition, hindi natin inaasahan ito. Nobody has been prepared for this. But I would like to sincerely thank all the participants in attendance today who really responded positively to the call of the region. This topic, beginning reading in distance learning, is really challenging for the teachers and even for the school principals. Yeah. And the school principals now are tasked to download this to the teachers, how really to emphasize beginning reading. If our pupils have difficulty in learning how to read when they are in their respective classrooms, how much more if our pupils will be in their respective homes, wherein they only have their parents, and we could not really assure that our parents would also be very positive and cooperative with regard to the educational journey of their children. But of course, Department of Education should be the last one to surrender, despite the fact that it's so risky on our part, that it's so challenging on our part. But the Department of Education really insists in opening the school year on August 24, 2020 with much vigor and compassion. We will open our doors, but this time at the respective homes of our pupils and students. So again, I sincerely thank our school principals who are really vigilant, attentive in listening to our resource speaker, because as what I have said, this is a very important topic. This is of prime importance that despite the pandemic, all of us are responsive to the needs, that we need also to look into how beginning reading shall be done at the respective homes. And the encounter of between the teacher and the pupil is so limited, because we could just imagine if there are 50 pupils in a class in that section, meaning the teacher hops from one house to another. So you could just imagine, siguro hindi maubos yung 50 pupils in 1 week. So plus, ituturo pa natin yung beginning reading. And of course, I'm sure Dr. Tizza would be amenable na sasabihin ko na ang magaling na teacher sa reading should be adept, should be skillful in the production of sounds. Yung mga phonemes, mga ganyan. So, dapat magaling. Kasi palagi ko itong na-share na kung hindi magaling sa sound yung teacher, hindi talaga siya makapagturo na mahusay sa beginning reading. Like, for example, pag it's tapos i-pronounce ng teacher na ta, instead of saying tapos lagyan ng So, pag idugtong mo na yan, o iba na yung ma-pronounce ng bata. So, instead of saying tapos tapos lagyan ng so the child could read 10. So, ganyan. So, dapat ang teacher, including the parents, should be familiar with sounds. Kasi dapat yung letter S should be S, not sa. Kasi pag dugtungan mo yan ng E, it will be sa-e. But if you would say S, tapos that becomes se. Ganyan.
That's right.
So that's only an example. I'm not an elementary school teacher, Dr. Tizza, but as a teacher of English, I would really emphasize that the reading teacher should be good in pronouncing words. Yeah,
Need to.
should be good in vowels. So maalala ko yung panahon ko sa Cebu Normal noon, mga teacher ko noon, si Dr. Piserla, Dr. Sabilion, Dr. Bolabog, yun talaga ang mga terror when it comes to the teaching of
Pronunciation.
Cebu Normal University. And that's the reason why we really have invited somebody from Cebu Normal University kasi hindi ako bias sa mga university, but of course, kilala ko ang Cebu Normal University. So I'm thankful to Chud for inviting Dr. Tizza Navarro. And I hope to have some more of Dr. Tizza in the months to come.
Sure.
Kung okay lang, Dr. Tiz.
Sure. Kindergarten.
Para ma-follow up natin.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, we don't need to worry to ask permission because the president is a close friend of mine, president ng Cebu Normal University. So again, sa mga principals, I hope that you download this, cascade this, kahit 2 hours lang ito, but this matters already, and we hope to have some more of Dr. Tizza in the months to come so that at least we can have a follow-up session, maybe mga activities na, mga workshop, kahit webinar. No?
Yes.
No, hindi yun pwede na pag principals, kung kahit hindi ka major, be a reading teacher regardless of the major. Kahit ang major mo, TLE, Filipino, Science, everybody should be a reading teacher because all subject areas involve reading. Di ba? Okay, so maganda na engagement ito na kahit sinasabi pa na low ang signal, ganyan, part na ito ng existence natin na kung low ang signal, maghanap ka ng lugar na magkaroon ka ng magandang signal. Hindi yung palaging magrereklamo na ito sana, ito sana, ito sana, ito na ngayon. This is now the new normal. And everybody should be positive, not with COVID, but positive attitude toward our commitment na bubuksan na talaga ang pasukan sa August 24. At pagsasabihin nyo na bakit buksan na it's so risky, pag hindi bubuksan ang klase sa August 24, walang sahod sa mga principals, walang sahod sa mga teachers. So we should be alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. Mga participants ngayon, vitamins, mga maintenance sa mga high blood kasi andito na. Pag magluya-luya yung taga Region 8, maraming applicants. Pag makikita kayo ng mga principal passers, maghahanda na yan sila sa ranking kasi papalitan na kayo sa mga magagaling, sa mga uptick. So dapat lahat ng principal sa Region 8 dapat active. Kahit may pandemic, go na go lang. Tapos i-enjoy natin yung trabaho natin sa August 24. In fact, ang mga principals natin have been very busy now. But the more you will be busy sa August 24 because the real battle during this pandemic will happen in your respective schools. Hindi sa region, hindi sa division, but ang digmaan ay mangyayari sa lahat ng mga school. So I want you to navigate with your teachers, befriend your teachers, kasi they are now the frontliners in this new normal. Thank you very much, and I hope everybody should be excited not only sa pasukan sa opening ng pasukan sa August 24, but for the whole year. And if we do it, blessings will come our way. Na kahit maraming sakripisyo, school heads, but if you do it by heart, if you offer everything to God, and if you offer everything to your children, blessings will come your way. Happy husband, happy wife, good health, happy family, successful children. Yun ang mga mai-expect natin if we offer our sacrifices to our children. Not everything will be paid by monetary, by money, but good health. Ito yung pinaka-importante. Kahit nakamask ka pa, but if you are cruel to your teachers, cruel to your children, kahit nakamask ka pa, ikaw yung maunahan sa COVID. Ha? Sige, smile lang. I-enjoy natin ang ating mga trabaho. Yeah, and this could I assure you that having me at the regional office, I will always think of ways and means beautiful plans for the region. I will not stop dreaming dreams for the betterment of the region, because we will always claim that Region 8 is always great. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing inspiring thoughts. Indeed, our session today has been loaded with great ideas, which will further propel us to do greater things in the region. And it brings us once again to our motto for quality education. Debate is great. Again, we would like to thank our resource speaker, Dr. Tizza Marie Navarro, for a splendid session. Thank you, ma'am. It has been an honor to be your host today. Everyone watching out there with us and also on Facebook Live, thank you so much. And this has been your host, Dean Indriano, CLMD. Thank you and good morning. And before we end, I'd like to announce and remind everyone that our next session shall be at 2 p.m. We're using the same link. So we will take a break for about 3 hours, because right after today we will take a break, a lunch break, and then our speaker for this afternoon is another top caliber, and this time is coming from Navarro University. So don't miss it, and see you this afternoon. So again, please use the same link, and see you there. Good afternoon, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much. And of course, we will also be posting here the evaluation link. Sir Joy, kindly post our link on screen on our chat box. Please don't forget to accomplish this evaluation. And of course, okay. So once again, let's all extend our appreciation to Dr. Tizza Marie Minoria Navarro. Thank you, ma'am. Group picture? Okay. This is
May certificate ba ako, sir?
yes, po.
It will follow like this.
All right. So let's
No
have
best to follow.
okay. There we have it. Okay. Give it your best smile, everyone. Come on.
Open your camera.
Open your camera. All right. Here we go. Smile. And there. Okay. So we move to our next screen, and we'll do the same. Okay. Again, are you ready?
Nakikita ko na sila, sir. Kanina hindi ko nakikita.
Okay po. Kasi,
Nice meeting you all.
dami po nila. Actually, I can see here 34 pages.
Nice meeting you all.
Pero hindi pa naka-open yung ibang screen.
Salamat.
Alright, please. Alright. I can only see a few faces. Alright. Okay. Moving on. Ma'am Rose. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Next page. Here we go. Smile. There. Next. Next page. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and smile. That's it. Moving on, we go to our next page. We're only on the page 5. Here we go. I think we're more complete here. All right. Take off your mask para we can see the entirety of your okay. There we go. Right. Okay, next. I can see Ma'am Jane Kudilan. Hello, ma'am. Good morning. All right. Next page. There. All right. On. Yan. Okay. Next page. You may also save a copy of your own picture. You can press print screen and paste it on your clipboard. Yes. So you can save a copy, have a sort of souvenir. There you go. All right, next page. The page is loading at the moment. All right. Page 10. Okay, here, page 11. I think the remaining pages don't have an active screen. We can only see the profile pictures. All right. Page 13 now. Page 14. Page 15. Sixteen. 17. And finally, last but not the least, okay, page 18. So far, we still have with us via Zoom about 448 participants, plus those who are in attendance via Facebook Live. Again, thank you so much for sharing your time with us in today's session. Thank you so much, Dr. Tizza Marie Minoya Navarro. Thank you so much, ma'am. We look forward to having you again in the near future. All right, and that ends our session for today. See you this afternoon. Good morning. Oh.
Jude, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Read them 3 to 4.